So this second session is about goal setting, and it leads on from what we just did with that. Cool. So SMART goals follow a pattern. When you go to set a goal, the more specific you are, like I said earlier, the more specific you are about it, the more chance you get there without all the bumps along the side. There's still always going to be bumps along the side. That's just the nature of life. But you can direct where those bumps go. You can actually go, I'd like a challenge to happen in this area. Yes. Okay, so from that first exercise, find something specific. So I would like to be I would like to do specific goal trainer, mobile plan. So maybe with this, if you had all the funds that you could possibly have, what would you want to do? Yeah, okay. So would you be maybe a facility manager?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. See, I would love to do that. We got there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Right, yeah.
Right, so sometimes it's
that seems too far away.
exactly, and sometimes look, society puts the barriers in your head. And then we learn to put the barriers in our head, right?
Yeah.
But what if you had the ability to do anything? What's the barrier? Money? Okay, here's the money. What's the barrier? My family? Okay, here's a solution for that. So if we could get rid of all the barriers, what would you like to do with your life? What would you love to do with your life? Zookeeping? Yep. Cool. Would you want to be the one being told what to do, or would you want to be the one telling people how to do it? Like everything. So what's the barrier? Training, experience, you've got it all. You've been doing it for 10 years in there. Would you want to be the person running the show? Yep. So we're going to make your big goal. You're the head zookeeper. You're the zookeeper in charge. Okay. Are you guys comfortable with saying, I would love to be the person in charge of the zoo? I would like of the animals and what's going on. I see how things are supposed to be done, and I would like to have a say in that. Can you say that? Yep. 100%. Yep. Cool. Okay. Now that's where it gets fun. You know where the measurable comes from? The measurable is like, how are you actually going to get there? What's the path? How are you going to get to be the trainer? What are the like to and willing to jobs that you would do that are going to get you there? Cool. We got one. What would be a job that you're going for in the next couple of years that's going to get you to the point that you're training? So Liam, I remember from the last one, it was pet store assistant. So that would definitely be one of the things that we'll just say work in a shelter. So I want you guys to get paid.
Yeah.
Volunteer all you want. I'm not knocking volunteering. I'm not knocking volunteering.
Yeah.
Volunteer all you want. There's absolutely a benefit to society in that.
Yeah.
But we'll just try and make them into a paid job, because every volunteer role can be a paid role.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have any? So what's something a little bit outside the box then? Something maybe from your willing to list that we're going to add in this measurable still. Okay. So we're still working in the measurable because it's the little incremental steps that you take to get to where you're going. So this one here, you're probably going to drag it from the willing to.
Yeah.
Right. So what are one of the jobs that you would be willing to go do now? Because you've said to me before that you're willing to go work in the bar there once you got your RSA. Yeah. And that you're already doing that kind of thing.
Yeah. This is like a willing to job to help you get to that.
Yep, but we're
other one.
Yep. I want this one more unrelated.
Oh, unrelated. Okay.
Yeah. And it's bar work that you'd be doing, right? So pet store assistant, and we're gonna put the Optus down because that's what we're doing. Yeah. So shelter. Yep, cool. No, I need another one. So what's your unrelated one? What about, so you've been doing a pathway for a while now.
Yes.
So I would pick something,
right?
I would pick something in that, because I would think that if I went and gave you a lab job, you might be willing to go and do it for money, because you know how to do it.
Because I would have to, yes, so it would be like some kind of lab research job, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. So the specific, we've got it. The measurable, you've got it, sort of. So we've got an idea there. What are the other incremental steps? So let's go actionable. So these are the things that you would do that actually link those things together. So we're going to start with a hard one first. which is the unrelated one. So let me ask you to think for a minute about how working in the kitchen at Optus is going to help you be the zookeeper in charge. Okay, so not to that one, but the actual to the love goal. So just have, that can be a bit of a stretch, and I'll help you. If you get stuck, I'll help you with it, because remember my pool table skills. I can think of different ways to get to somewhere. So have a think about it first, and we'll see what you get up with. How would working in the lab help you with this, be this? And how would working in the bar in the footy club help you being a trainer mobile plant operator? If you come up with one way each, I'll come up with a couple more with you.
Do you mean like skills that we use in my lab job, but then that those skills would also come to use with the other job?
Yeah. It also could be, who do you meet while you're working there? What challenges do you run into when you're working there?
Yeah.
Do you think that you might need to learn some people skills to be that? Do you think that as a trainer, that dealing with a whole bunch of different people from a whole bunch of different areas, you might get that experience?
Yeah.
You might meet someone while you're working there who is actually,
Yeah,
this.
I already know that because there is black people.
yep, so there's your link. You've already got it. You already know it. Okay, so you might meet people that are in mobile training, mobile plant, that are already doing that for a job. I can tell you right now that having abundance of people skills is absolutely, I love training this, but do you think I might run into a couple people I don't get along with? And then I need to be able to dig deep and,
Would you like multitasking ability?
yeah. What things are you going to learn in the kitchen that are related to being a zookeeper? Sorry? Cleaning. Louder. Yep, teamwork, yep. What about being able to be heard, speaking up? Yeah, because I can tell already that that'll be a challenge for you. And I would say, go into that job with that, like, I don't care who hears me, I'm gonna speak up, right? Because okay, so what are some of the things in the lab job that are gonna help you do this?
I don't know, they're all sort of very general skills, but are like problem solving, the lab, in that like lab research work, basically involves just a lot of problem solving.
Yep.
Always dealing with that. Like organization and planning. I love that.
Yeah.
Like, just in the lab stuff. Yeah, being able to work as a team is something you do have to like do sort of like teach this course like for the first year English students or supervise this other PhD student or things like that. So I think like that, which I actually enjoyed that. I like it would be helpful because you've had experience.
Multitasking?
Yeah, with dealing with people, like, yeah.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so we've got a specific, we've got a measurable, and that we can see how the jobs, and you on your own time, by all, like, look, there's so much power in goal setting. So if you take away from this something that you could go away and nut out yourself, awesome. And that's where you might maybe do that 100 interest dump and start looking at, actually I'm like, I thought I was 20% of the way there, but I'm actually 60, right? You might find that you actually have, all you need is the confidence to be able to go, hey, I could actually do that, right? Nothing wrong with challenging yourself. Okay, so the reasonable, that becomes what we've just naturally come into talking about. Is that goal reasonable, right? What I would ask is, where are you already doing it? Right? So Tori, I know with where do you feel you're already, so me not putting it in your mouth because I know the answer. Where do you think you're already doing this? And you told me when we first did it, when we first did this exercise. What were you doing in the course that you were in when you did your civil construction mobile plant op? In the civil Cert 2? Okay, so naturally, as soon as she picked up the skill, she was helping the people that,
Yeah, that's good.
that weren't,
That's good.
right? So that's one way that she knows that it's reasonable to say, I could be a trainer in the workplace. How awesome would it be to be, I'm not sure, how old are you, Liam? 24. So how awesome would it be to be 24, come into a room training, and here's a 24-year-old, I'm just putting you 4 years ahead. Here's a 24-year-old teaching the course,
Yeah.
right? What's that going to tell you for your own pathway? All of a sudden, she hasn't even opened her mouth, and just being there is inspiring all the young people to think, ah, here I thought that I couldn't do something like that for 20 years because I'm just not good enough. She's doing it. Why can't I?
Yeah, that's
Right?
that's a big thing. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, just, just by having that goal, you're setting an example. So it's definitely not unreasonable. Absolutely a reasonable goal. How are you already doing it? How are you already the zookeeper in charge? It could be that that's what you look at. Like for me, I'd look at what do I search on YouTube for? What do I, what do you find yourself watching the documentaries with David Attenborough? So it could be, but you tell me what things that you're already doing. Yep. Anything else? Do you have pets? Yep. How many? Dogs? Yep. So looking after your own pets. Do you have to feed them?
Yeah.
Do you have to buy the food? So you need to be organized to make sure that there's food when you run out, you're not doing what I do and running down to service station for a $5 can of cat food. That's 50 cents in goals. Cool. So yeah, reasonable. You're going to be learning to speak up with confidence at Optus Stadium, and I would highly suggest you keep that in mind all the time in there. Who cares what people think? Just speak. If they don't like what you got to say, you're in the right place. You're in the kitchen. It's going to be flying around anyway. So, yep.
I don't have pets now. I have a fish, but I have had pets in recent times. But yeah, like looking after pets, and currently, sometimes look after my friend's dogs. That kind of thing.
Yep. As a facility manager, do you think you're going to be hands-on with the animals so
Yeah, I
much?
just realized like that's actually not.
Yeah. So it's actually, where are you already doing it?
Yeah, sorry, because when I think of like, even though that's my long to end goal, I just always think working with animals, and then in my head, just the connection is working with animals, you have to have the actual experience.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
But it's
yeah.
actually the experience you need to this.
Yeah, because it could be that you actually have never had anything to do with animals, but still.
Yeah, and you've already laid the groundwork.
So then in my case, what the reasonable would be.
How many years
Of
of that you've been doing your PhD, that you're doing that schooling?
Yeah, like uni's over 10 years. Yeah.
10 years, right? Because all of those skills you're doing there are way more related. So your willing to job is actually massively related,
Yeah.
right? Do you see that? This job here is more related to that than that is. Did you get it?
Yeah.
That willing to list is your gold.
Yeah.
Right? So all those things that you're willing to do, if you find yourself at a crappy job that you don't like, challenge yourself, because you can find these things no matter what. You don't need me to do it. You could just sit there and go, what am I getting out of this? What's the benefit of doing this? Okay, I'm getting money. That's a benefit. Who are you working with? What relationships are you building? What challenges are you coming up to? What issues are you facing? What things, you can have something come up and go, that stops me from getting to work. Okay, notice that. What was that? What stops you? Right? That made me get up and go to work. I know that I'm way late in getting these assessments in, and I need to get this done. I don't know if you guys noticed the weather outside today. Got woken up at 6 a.m. like I did. It's looking, woken up. I'm lying. I had my phone and I was looking at my phone and I actually saw it. It was like the lightning came in through my closed window and touched my screen and then it went bang. Don't know how it didn't wake all the kids up, but yeah. So what you'll find is that your willing twos are where the gold, even into this next session that we do. Okay. So based on all that, how long do you think it will take you, Tori, to become the trainer? So 10 years? What do you think? 15 years? Why would it take 15 years, do you think? Yep, yep. I'll take that for an answer because you had a reason.
Yeah.
Do you think it would take that long though?
I don't know.
So if I,
Like originally I thought maybe between 5 to 10 years.
yep, cool, that's better.
But I don't know.
I think personally, just based on however long I've known you here, I think that within a year or so, if you focused on it and went, okay, what do I need to do that? Need to learn about the not-for-profit industry because that's where the money's going to be, you know, and what things do I need to learn to do that? And then
Yeah.
just start ticking them off the list as you go along.
The thing that like sort of, it doesn't stop me, but it's always in the back of my head. Well, it's really not in the back of my head, it's sort of, it's more of them sort of mentioned like, so because I have been studying for so long, I don't actually have that much like work experience, especially unrelated stuff, because something like I've been able to live with my parents, blah, 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 so I haven't always had to.
Yep.
Like, do you mean? And I was lucky I got a scholarship as well,
Yeah.
you know, to cover me for a while.
Yep.
So I don't actually have a lot of work experience in
Yep.
like in anything.
Yeah.
Random
Can I-
jobs, unrelated jobs.
You just made an interesting point. Can I just link something for you guys?
Mm.
And I know that may or may not be relevant, but I just want, it's just popped into my head. When we're dealing with gaps in employment, a lot of times the big one comes from prison,
Yep.
but the other one comes from education.
Yep.
You're not the first person to be sitting here, having gone through the university process
Yeah,
and be sitting here going,
Yeah.
crap, I've actually lost 10 years of working experience. And now owners are going, why have you got a gap in your employment?
I mean,
Well-
the gap can be explained, but it's just sort of like, I don't know, I just have this impression that work experience, like your previous work experience really matters a lot.
Yeah.
And I used to think it matters like a lot.
Yeah,
And I still think it does, I don't know, maybe.
come to the Vibe program. I'll flip your switch on that one.
Okay.
Because you've got just as much to offer as the person with just as more experience in you. There's no reason that the skills and
Yeah.
lessons and experience that you've had doing other things cannot relate to a job.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous to say. And it's just society that says that it doesn't.
yeah.
It's not true.
Because actually, you know, in more recent years, I have been people that have mentioned that to me and like
Yeah.
transferable skills and all this.
Yeah,
Whereas before I used to be just so set in the like, okay, this is what I chose. I've got actually no work experience. I didn't realize it'd be so hard to get any job. And other things I have done, like cleaning up. Yeah, I am doing sort of cleaning, like just to help someone else. I'm not getting paid and all these other things, but they're not like, it's not like official work.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I put
But
it
you
on
can
my
s-
work
Yeah,
experience.
but you can absolutely frame that in a good way on your resume. I've had people with none and we end up with a resume.
That's good.
So it works. It works however we need to. Okay, so the only thing that I would say is don't be too hard on yourselves with these things, because I think that you could do that in 5 years if you wanted to, maybe 8 years.
It just depends on all like the paperwork and all like the studying sort of thing that I have to go into
Yeah.
it. Because I know I'm not the best at that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I would have if I wanted to be a mobile trainer. I have to do a lot of paperwork with them as well. And
Yeah.
I'm not very good picture in the paperwork.
So that can be one of the things that you go, you want to get some job in your willing to list that's going to help you with that. Get doing something that, so that would be in those 100 interests. You just sort of dump out, okay, what more,
Yeah.
right? And then you go, okay, where are my gaps? What don't I have yet? And then add them into your goals. This could be a really powerful thing to do. for your jobs, for your work. You could change this to owning a house or owning a 100-acre property that I've got. And I could go, okay, the specific is a 100-acre property. The measurable is what am I doing that's on the way there already? The actionable, what things do I need to do? What certification? So that would be in here. You would have to do your TAE, which is the one that I'm doing. So this one that I'm assessing for right now, you would have to do that at some point to get to that stage.
Yeah, see, and I
Right.
think
And that's where you just go, okay, in my willing to list, I'm gonna stick some stuff in there that'd be like me saying I'd go and be a workplace advisor. Definitely not something I want to do, but I would learn so much from it that's valuable for the 100-acre property.
Yeah.
Right? Because being able to run that thing, I need to know 100% what you guys are facing as job seekers when you go into your job active and then get sent along. So that's the only thing that I would say is just don't be too hard on yourself with your time. Always ask yourself, how am I already there? And you could kind of make yourself a big list and go, what are the things that I'm already doing? What are the skills that are needed to be a zookeeper? And you could go on, look for a zookeeper job and look at the list of responsibilities. Okay, which ones of those can I already do? Which ones do I need to, oh, I need to do that. Okay. Am I willing to take the action that makes that goal reasonable? This is like saying I want to be an astronaut. Okay. Yeah, that's great. It's possible. Are you willing to do X amount of years of physics and, you know, all that? If you're willing to do that, okay, that's step one. Yeah, you're willing to do the training. Does this work? What about this? What about this? And you go, okay, is that a reasonable goal or not? There's astronauts out there. So for some people, it is. So not saying it isn't. Absolutely. You know, I think that these are all really, really good goals. And the follow on, I guess, is just the measurable is really listing out those willing to jobs that you've done in the past, that you would do, things that you've done. You know, if you've done it already, you might possibly do it before. I've mucked out stables, you know. Don't know if my body would hold up to doing that every day, but if I wanted to go for a ride and the cost was go muck out stables for the day, hand me a rake, I'm in,
Yeah.
right? Okay, was that valuable for you guys?
It was.
Cool.